Hey y'all, Zach McDonald, your real estate agent with Real Property Associates, and today we're going to talk about why home prices in Seattle are continuing to rise during the pandemic. All right, what the heck? We're in the middle of a pandemic and housing prices are continuing to go up. Why is that? A lot of people really, to be honest, were expecting to see home prices dip off already. And some are still predicting maybe in 5 or 6 months we're going to see some repercussions from the different measures that we've taken to keep people safe, shutting businesses down, people not paying their mortgages, things like that. And to be honest, we'll see, right? We'll see. A lot of the forbearance plans are allowing people to add on to the time of their loan, and they'll be able to start picking up those payments when they get back to work, which is starting to happen right now. So for those that did plan ahead and had some reserves, they're going to be just fine getting through this. And I know here in this area, a lot of people were able to keep their jobs and transition from home. I think it's a little different in other areas around the country, but I know here specifically, a lot of people were able to continue working from home. So again, time will tell as far as long-term ramifications, and I don't want to try to predict those. But right now, what we know is that home prices have continued to rise in the middle of the pandemic. And why is that? The biggest reason here in the middle of the pandemic, I think there's two we can talk about. The first one is that there have been just very few homes coming on the market. So some sellers have still sold, but typically this is the height of the buying season. People are getting out of their leases soon. A lot of landlords set up the leases to expire sometime between May and August because that's when they're going to be able to get the highest rents for their clients. And I work at a firm that does property management as well, so I'm keenly aware of this. The property managers always talk about leasing out in the late spring and early summer to get peak rents for the year. And we're talking about hundreds of dollars extra a month, right? That's substantial if you are using your property to produce income. Now, if the system's set up that way, you have all these people that are in houses and they need to go buy something here soon or re-up their lease. So some people decided to re-up their lease and they're not jumping into the housing market. Other people have been looking for housing or will be in a little bit more urgent fashion looking for housing over the next few months. We've seen that even though there haven't been as many houses coming on the market, there are still a bunch of buyers out in the market. And the big reason I think that we're seeing a lot of buyers is one, because just the way the system's set up. We have a lot of people looking this time of year, whether it's the weather, kids getting out of school, and also, like I was just talking about, people getting out of their apartments. We also have record low interest rates. And yeah, they've gone up and down a little bit during this pandemic, but for the majority of the time, they've been really, really, really low, which is keeping housing more affordable for Seattle. And in higher price markets like Seattle, it's expensive to buy a house. It takes a significant amount of money to buy. And so when you have lower rates, all of a sudden what you want becomes a little bit more affordable. Those monthly payments are lower. So you have a lot of buyers, right? A lot of buyers in the market. You have few houses to sell. So you have basic supply and demand principles working. When you don't have a lot of supply and you have a lot of demand, you see prices go up. And again, it's more complicated than that. That's a little simplistic, but it makes sense. That's what's been happening here. You haven't seen prices dipping off because there are more buyers out there than there are houses. So as long as you put when you put the house on the market, as long as a buyer or two or three are willing to buy your house, you're not selling it at a discount. You're probably selling it over asking price. And that's what I've been experiencing. On the listing side as well as the buyer side, I'm seeing either one awesome offer at asking price or things going above asking price. And at the same time, working with buyers, which I do that as well, we're seeing multiple offers on a lot of the houses. Now, we're not seeing 10 or 15 offers. Maybe we're seeing 2 or 3. The really good houses might be getting more than that. I had one last week that had 6 offers on it that we beat out. So it's competitive out there because there aren't as many houses on the market. And you have all these buyers out in the market. So over these next few months, it'll be interesting. I think we'll see more homes coming on the market. We already are seeing an increase in the new listings, but we're also seeing a significant increase in pending sales because there are a lot of buyers that have been waiting, maybe missing out, and are now starting to get houses. So I think the message here today is that yes, the housing market here in Seattle is still strong, and there are still a lot of buyers out in the market, and the housing prices are remaining steady. Now, again, we don't know what the next 6 months or a year hold, and we never do. But what I know right now is that the housing market is healthy. Now, one thing to note, if you're a buyer or somebody who's thinking about buying here soon, it might make sense to start thinking about it and start the process, because what happens is if you wait to get started, you might miss an opportunity. And I can speak from personal experience right now with the stock market. There was a huge dip, and maybe there'll be another one. We don't know that, but I missed a huge opportunity because I was slow to act. I wasn't prepared, didn't have my money in the right places to start capitalizing on the low in the stock market a few months back, and now you've seen a record bounce back. I'm in the process of getting my money in, but I waited a long time because I was hoping that it would get worse, and it hasn't gotten worse, it's gotten better. So my message to you is don't make the same mistake that I did. At least be ready to capitalize. Now you have to decide what the right time is for you, and I don't want to tell you that's right now because it might not be the right time for you. But I think it's important that you are ready to take action when the time is right, and you are ready to do that. And getting prepared, having a conversation. I have conversations all the time with people, so if you don't have somebody to talk to and you'd like to talk to me, I'm happy to have a Zoom meeting with you or a phone call or something like that. That's a great way to at least get started and maybe work on getting your pre-approval for a mortgage so that when the time's right, you're ready to take action and capitalize on the opportunity. So we'll wrap it up here. Why are home prices continuing to rise during the pandemic here in Seattle? The reason is because supply is low and demand is high. Thanks so much for watching this video. If you made it all the way to the end, I know you found some value here in this content. So please subscribe to my channel so that you can see other real estate content like this, specifically my Seattle real estate market updates.